All right, here we are with topic 12, represent and interpret data. Essential question, how can line plots be used to represent data and answer questions? Choose the best term from the word list, write it on the blank. And our words are bar graph, compare, frequency table, overestimate, and underestimate. A display that shows how many times an event occurs is, get a good color here, it's a frequency table. Frequency means how often. So how many, how often, how frequent something occurs, a frequency table. A display that uses bars to show data is a bar graph. Rounding each factor in a multiplication to a greater number is going to give you an overestimate. You can use length of the bars in a bar graph to compare two similar data sets. So the one word we didn't use was underestimate. So rounding each factor in multiplication to a lesser number is going to give you an underestimate. Okay, I'm getting used to new tools on this here, so bear with me. All right. And we're going to do some fraction computation. So we need to review addition, subtraction, and multiplication of fractions. Two and a half plus 3 1/3. Get going here. So number 5, 2 1/2 plus 5 1/3. Sorry. Good review here. Denominators are different. Common, multiple, rename, and multiply this by 3, multiply this by 2, and then we're going to add 7 5/6. Number 6, 13 3/10 minus 8 1/5. Denominators are different, but 5 will go into 10, so I can leave that one alone. I'm going to subtract 5 1/10. Number 7, 8 1/3 plus 7 11/12. Denominators are different, but 3 will go into 12. Multiply that fraction by 4/4. Add my whole numbers. Rename 15/12 and combine. So I'm going to wind up with 16 1/4. Remember, because 15/12 equals 1 and 3/12, which equals 1 1/4. So I'm combining 1 1/4 and 15 to get 16 1/4. Number 8, the whole number 15 minus the mixed number 5 2/9. Remember, when I do these guys, I need something over here. So I'm going to borrow. Now I can subtract 2. I can take 9, take away 2, or take 2 away from 9, however you want to say it. And I wind up with 9 7/9. Number 9, 7 5/8 plus 13 11/20. I'm going to count by 20s until I hit something that 8 will go into. So I'm going to rename this, add, get my whole numbers. Rename 47/40 is 1 7/40. Add that to 20. So I get 21 7/40. Number 10, 15 and 4/5 plus 1 and 2/3, 5 and 3, common multiple, 10 and 12, add them together, 22 over 15, 16 and 22/15, and 22/15 will get me to 1 and 7/15. So I'm going to combine that to 16. So I wind up with 17 and 7/15. That was number 10. Number 11, 7/8 times the whole number 4 is 28 over 8. Reducing that, 8 goes into 28 3 times with 4/8 left over, which will reduce to 3 1/2. 12, the whole number 5 times 1 2/3. Keep my 5. I'm going to turn 1 2/3 into a mixed or an improper fraction. Then I can multiply 25/3, which will equal 8 1/3. And my last problem, number 13, 2 1/8 times 2/3. 2/3 looks good. I will turn my mixed number into an improper fraction. Remember, I do 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 is 17. And now I can multiply. And I'm going to reduce 1 10 24ths, which reduces to 1 5/12. So we're going to need to review all those for our frequency tables. Sometimes we're going to have to add fractions, so that's why we reviewed that. And down in 14, which animal has about 34 teeth? So you're going to take a look, and you want to find 34 on your chart and go across, and you can see it's the hyena. About how many more teeth does a dog have than a hyena? So if we say that a hyena has 34, and we're going to need to look at the interval here, so we know they're counting by 5s. So a dog is between 40 and 45, so we might say it's 40, 42 maybe? We're going to subtract and get 8. You might have 9 or 6, something near that. About how many, and remember it says about, so we need to get close to it. About how many more teeth does a hyena have than a walrus? So we said the hyena had 34. We're going to subtract out the walrus, which looks to be about, maybe 27. So we might have 17, around 17 teeth difference. So that is our vocabulary. And as we move forward in the next couple pages, you're going to see, mouse. I do have some choices for my mouse now. It's getting fancy on me. I'm going to go forward, and I've got pet ownership. I've got something called a line plot, so it's going to have a number line. That's why we call it a line plot. It uses a number line, and it plots. It has little blobs on them. Data is a whole bunch of measurements. So let me see if I can do this. And outlier is a number that is way outside of all the other information. So that is our vocabulary and our just going crazy here. That's our vocabulary review for topic 12.